Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity we have to come together, Lord, and I pray that we present what's right in your sight. God, bless us to be more obedient to you. Pray for our hearts, Lord. Lead us to be as you'd have us be. Thank you for our community. Thank you so much for our leadership we have, and thank you for our children, God. We thank you for the ability and the authority you've given us. I pray that we'll be wise stewards of all we do. In Christ's name I ask and pray. Amen.
Amen.
If you would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Dr. Dixon.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, on the agenda, I need approval of an amended agenda to add Board Policy DIB, and the financial reports will be presented by Jackie Sparks, Financial Director.
I make a motion, we amend the agenda as you said.
Okay, got a motion?
A second.
Got a second? Any discussion?
What are we adding to it now?
We're adding the board policy and then the financial reports.
That is the name of the board policy.
That's the name of the board policy, is the financial reports. It'll be presented by Mr. Jackie Sparks.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor, raise your hand. All right, and that's unanimous. And we will move on to our presentations. First up, our Learning Loss Coordinator, Mr. Leslie Folsom.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I actually have two board policies I need to bring to you for approval. One's a brand new one. It is Board Policy EBB for safety. Basically, this board policy requires the school system to have an emergency preparedness plan in place. We currently already have it, but this will make it official through board policy that one has to be in place through the school system. The other one is IFBG, Internet Acceptable Use. This policy is already in place. We're just making a slight revision through a state law that was passed this past year. It prohibits certain social media platforms like TikTok to be used on government internets, Chromebooks, or anything technology-wise. It cannot be used in the school system. And again, all we're asking is just to do a slight revision of that one policy. Any questions about either one of them?
I do. I got a question. It's on the first one, the safety one. I think it's great. Obviously, we need it. And I guess one of the questions was going into how do we share? How do we do it? How do we implement it? How does it work? We're getting
How does the emergency preparedness plan?
well, I guess coordinate with the parents, the staff, the kids. How does that all?
What I would do, I'm gonna get you to hold on to that question, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because our school safety coordinator, Mr. Richard Herron, is right after me, and he can answer that question I'm pretty confident he would have you a great answer for that question. Any other questions about the policy? All right.
Just for clarification, will we let these stay on the board on the table 30 days, or since it's a revision, we just approve them in the next meeting?
Yeah, remember that changed last year, year before, I can't remember, but now we can vote on it the very next board meeting.
All right. All right, next up, we have Mr. Richard Herron, CTA Director and Safety Coordinator. The floor is yours, buddy.
Leslie Folsom is my best friend, still. So if I can address the question, and if I'm answering the question that you're asking, we have an emergency preparedness plan for each of our buildings. And that emergency plan is shared with our faculty and staff. As far as the implementation of everything in that plan, it's up to me to ensure that it's getting done on the building level. But the building level administrative team are the ones that implement all those plans. And of course, we practice, and now what's state law is inclusion of additional practices. We've always done fire drills, and we've always done severe weather drills, but now, and we've done intruder drills. Now it's a law that you have to do intruder drill at least one time during the year. So what we don't do is we don't share our emergency preparedness plan with people outside of the school district. And again, this would be terrible if this was the case, but we wouldn't want someone who meant to do harm to our building to use our plans against us, so to speak, if that's the right way to put it.
Well, I guess what made my question was, I was, in one of the, it says, one of the paragraphs, it reads, "The emergency preparedness plan shall be prepared with input from school district employees, students enrolled in the district, their parents, law enforcement, fire procedures, so forth." I was just curious how we got the parents involved, how do we get them?
Is that advisory?
So we have school councils, so there's room for input. That doesn't necessarily mean that a parent is sitting there whenever we're penning that emergency preparedness plan, but they have that opportunity for input. We get direct contact with representatives from all of our emergency responders, including emergency management, sheriff's office, 911 service.
Okay. And if that's an ongoing, I just curious.
Every year, yes, sir.
Is it once a year?
Yes, sir, and sometimes more than one time a year, a revision may be made. An example would be with the COVID and those things that came down related to safety and COVID. We may have made changes several times during the year to our emergency preparedness plan, depending on what Department of Public Health recommended and things like that.
Okay.
I want to give a shout out to Mr. Herron. He's our safety director, and every district has a safety director. He's also our CTA director. He spends as much time in the safety world as he does the CTAE. And if you would elaborate on why we're making a board policy tonight. It's not a requirement that you have a board policy on safety. The state mandates that through law, but explain that.
So emergency management, GEMA, and Homeland Security, along with Georgia Department of Education, try in an effort to make people more aware of what a safety plan should look like, and I'm paraphrasing safety plan. They now have a seal that's awarded to districts, actually, that's wrong, individual schools for their safety planning. And it encompasses a lot of different areas, from those things related to intruders that we think a lot about, to those things related to general health and cybersecurity and all kind of other areas. So in an effort to recognize those schools for the individual work they have done in terms of preparing their buildings for a safe environment, they're going to award these seals. And this is brand new. This is just months old. And part of that includes your district having policies regarding, number one, the not using social media platforms on state-funded technology equipment, and emergency plans, which include drills and procedures for not only fire and severe weather, but intruders. So this, by passing these policies, creating these policies on things that we already do, but by having those policies, that helps us when we do these applications for possibility of getting these readiness seals, is what they're called.
Thank you.
So is it certain, just say an intruder wants to just really come in and just do the work on our schools, they can go in and, look at our policies themselves. So is there anything that we can keep them, was just open to the public?
So the policies, our preparedness plans are not published for the public to see.
Okay.
They are normally put in a drive so that our faculty and staff have access to them, but we don't share them. The only entity outside of our district that would have access to it is emergency management, Georgia Emergency Management Association, and that's part of that state law about us having those plans. They have to be approved by local law enforcement and emergency management, and then signed off on by the state emergency management. So they're the only entity that has access. There have been several times, just a side note, I get calls randomly about people who are working on their specialist degree or educational doctorate, and part of what they have to do is create an emergency, plan, and they request ours, and I always tell them, no, we don't share it with anyone else. If they're a district employee, of course, they already have access to it, but nobody outside of the district does.
Okay.
She's dropping off plates.
So, one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
So have we completed all our intruder drills for all the schools?
Yes, ma'am. All of our schools, we have 4 buildings that are recognized in the district. And we have another building that's part of the high school. And we have done our intruder drills at all 4 of those buildings and met those requirements. We had scheduled for the alternative school, and that day had an incident with a student that made it necessary that we have to postpone it. It is scheduled for this Thursday.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions related to safety?
Good evening, good evening.
So the main purpose of me being here tonight was to make you aware of a grant that we're applying for to increase computer science capacity, especially in the middle school. This grant is being submitted on behalf of Ms. Tracy Sellers, who's our new computer science teacher at Cook Middle. And it is, again, funded by Georgia Department of Education. It's called the Computer Science Teacher Equipment and Community Grant. And it's going to allow us, if awarded the full $10,000, the opportunity for us to purchase some equipment. That equipment is robotics-related equipment that can be used in the classroom, like classroom sets of small robots as opposed to just one that the whole class is involved in. They'll be able to utilize them in groups of 2. Also, it will allow us to provide our teachers, not just at the middle school, but at the high school also, with some professional development courses on the use of these robots, and also to be able to pay for those teachers' participation or membership in the Computer Science Teachers Association.
All right.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Richard.
All right. Sorry about running late, guys. Battery got me on my truck, and just that little bit of cold weather, I guess. My warranty was out by 1 month, so it was just that thing. Next up, I've got Miss Jennifer McDaniel, CES.
Just bear with me, this is
You're
new to
fine.
me. We are asking for a grant, and it's called Share the Magic Foundation. It's through Malcolm Mitchell. It's his Read with Malcolm program, where he would come to our school and do a presentation, and all the kids would get a book based off the book that we decided to choose for each kid to get. So he does a 60-minute presentation with the kids. And he kind of talks a little bit about his life, where he's grew up at, how he grew up. But the main purpose of this would be so that kids would get to see somebody outside, a football player. He played for Georgia, and then he went on to the New England Patriots. So I was just trying to get the boys more involved. And one of the books that we chose to do would be my favorite book in the whole wide world. And it talks about him being in class, and they were given an assignment, and the teacher wanted them to go home and find their favorite book. Well, the little boy in the story is named Henley, but it's actually Malcolm. And it's just saying that overall the whole thing is Malcolm struggled with reading. It wasn't that he hated to read. He just struggled with it, and he didn't know how to cope with it. And in our school systems, we see so much of that in our schools, that the kids, it's not that some of them don't like to read, they just don't know how. And this book breaks it down where he got to go home, look for his favorite book. He wasn't able to find one because he never had the opportunity just to sit and find a book. Went to the library, couldn't find one. So what he did was he sat there and he talked to his mama, and he wrote his own little favorite book story to present to the class. So the book really touches home. And I'm not a reading subject teacher. I teach math, but I'm all into sports when it comes to stuff. And I see in my classroom the boys that struggle, and of course girls too, but it's just something that aims toward them, and I want them to have that inspiration and bring forth the reading. The program itself is expensive. For him to come to our school for a day, we're looking at $13,059.15. If we are able to proceed with Share the Magic Foundation, they will match up to $5,180.40. Then we are left with the $7,878.75. The amount that is left, we are willing, especially my husband, because he's already put forth the first funding for it. And we have several places that are ready to help donate for this to touch base. So I'm just asking for, your permission to, let's get something going. It would be like a pet rally. We want to invite people in the community, especially those that want to help fund it, because we're really aiming toward getting this going. And I just want to see, even if we were to get some of our football players in on it, touchdown club, whatever, to make it something, to bring these kids, to get them to read, because it's everywhere.
Any questions?
Good job. It's wonderful.
I had the pleasure of talking to him the day he was here at lunch for a little while, and he said he'd like to do it at all the schools.
Yes.
That's what he told me.
And they do, for middle school and high school, they do it more on a, how did I say it? It's where, like a debate. And of course, they don't get books, but he comes in and he sets it up where they have like a student panel, and they're asking him questions, and they go ahead and give the topics so the students can decide what kind of questions. And the whole time he's answering these questions, and the kids aren't realizing this was his life. And it based on, drug related, what he didn't have. And he really is an awesome person. We got to meet him at UGA too. And whenever I told him, I said, I wanted you to come see us too. And he's like, just email me. And I left there that day and I was like, email him? I don't have his email. And then I thought, wait a minute, it's the Read with Malcolm. And he replied that Monday how good it was to meet. And he sent me straight into his program person. And I mean, it's just amazing.
But is the upshot, we're looking at, how much would the school be out, are you thinking?
If we got the grant, the money that we would have to come up with be just $7,878.75.
So that's what that community sponsors and L4G, what's L4GA? What is that? What is that? I'm sorry.
That's our literacy grant.
Okay.
That we've received, for the past 4 years, I think going on 5 years. That was based on our reading scores, being so low especially through 3rd grade. So, we have maintained that grant and gotten lots of reading supplies for our teachers. We've gotten level literacy libraries. Every classroom has a library in their room that kids always have access to printed materials. So that one, we also have the funds available to help with the remaining portion of the grant.
Good, thank you.
Good,
Anybody
very
else?
good.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
I like the shirt.
All right, next up, we've got Miss Kelly Sumner. Welcome this afternoon.
In the past week, I learned of a grant opportunity from the Professional Association of Georgia Educators. The grant is available to teachers who are members of the organization. I'm here tonight to ask permission from the board to apply for the grant. One of the Georgia Fine Arts Standards asks fifth grade students to understand and apply techniques, processes, and concepts of three-dimensional works of art, more specifically to create clay objects demonstrating refinement of combined hand-building techniques such as the pinch method and surface design. If awarded the grant, I plan to purchase modeling clay and glass eyes for the students to create a dragon's eye sculpture. The students will use the pinch method to create scales around the surface of the eye itself. From this project, the students will learn a hands-on method of creating texture in art through the medium of clay. Thank you for your consideration in this grant application process.
Any questions?
Sounds like fun.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we've got Dr. Courtney Holly, Personnel and the Para Grant. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hey,
Hello?
So fortunately, the personnel sheet's much shorter this month, so that's great. A few appointments under athletics, shuffling some around to meet those areas that were not filled yet. So all of these are replacements. They're not new positions. Matthew Foster as assistant girls basketball coach, Jackson Sparks as football community coach, Gunnar George moving up to assistant baseball for varsity, Troy Williams, who was assistant for middle school, moving up to head middle school, Kyrie Clayton, assistant baseball at the middle school, and Nathan Barnes, assistant baseball at the high school. Any questions about athletic recommendations? All right, moving down to substitutes. We have Miss Brown, Henshaw, Kenny, McCraney. Miss Sylvia Mathis would like to be recommended just for the Early Learning Center. Miss Deborah May and Courtney Taylor. For bus drivers, we have a bus monitor that we would like to recommend, Miss Sheila Burns. And then nutrition, 3 replacements, 1 full-time, 1 part-time, and then 1 substitute. And then 2 resignations. Miss Aretha Allen out of nutrition. She had moved from custodial to nutrition. And then Candy Roundtree as assistant girls basketball coach. Any questions about personnel recommendations?
I'm good.
Okay, now the fun part. So the Office of Rural Education and Innovation has a teacher retention and recruitment department. And they reached out to all of the rural counties about a grant for your paras to get reimbursed for their tuition for college. And they can get $1,500 a semester. And they do it by semester, spring of 2023, summer 2023, fall of 2023, and spring of 2024. They just have to prove that they're enrolled in a PSC or a Georgia approved program or college, then they would be able to get that $1,500 per semester. And that's for our paras. And Cook County, we just found out, was awarded $55,500 to go straight back to our paras.
Wow.
And as long as on our CPI report, how we report our teachers and paras, as long as they're reported as a para and they qualify under that college, then they can get up to $6,000 based on which semesters they were enrolled.
So who keeps up with that? You do?
That would be me.
I figured that might be.
And then it goes through, it wouldn't go through payroll because it's not a 1099. So just like a teacher would go to a conference and you reimburse them, that's how they would like these paras to be reimbursed.
Yep.
It's not a 1099 procedure. It would just be a reimbursement.
Sounds wonderful.
Any other questions? Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next up, we've got Miss Jackie Sparks. hopefully the soon-to-be green. So,
Good evening.
good evening.
Okay, the first one that I think that you guys had uploaded was our fund balance figures through June 30th. So we ended June 30th with $4,539,328.94. Y'all can see the comparison. We're down $531,000 from last year. We saw that coming. We had the insurance adjustment mid-year. Anybody who's locally funded is on our dime. So we can thank the health insurance people about that and our no warning. Also, you have, let me see which one y'all got now. Y'all have our comparison for our monthly figures. See, I might have ate mine. Nope, just kidding. Okay, general fund, you can see where we ended with the $4,539,328.94. That's the same as the first sheet that you had. Capital assets, we ended with $3,957,861.58. So our projects are still ongoing with the AC at the two schools, plus we have funding ready to go for the middle school entitlement funds that are in that capital project. It's not all SPLOS related. Then our federal funds are at a negative $893,912.15. That's because our ESSER 2, our ESSER 3, and our L4GA grant are all still ongoing at June 30th. So they are not going to be zeroed out. So we're spending up front, getting reimbursed for those grants. And then our school nutrition ended the year with $1,016,334.06 in their fund balance. So they're still doing great. Then also at your table, I put an analysis of debt service payment remaining. It looks like this.
Gotcha.
That was just for your information only. We made our payment, so I just kind of wanted to give you an update of where we were. This is as of June 30th. We just made a payment in October, so this is already changing, but at the time it was at June 30th. These were the amounts outstanding for the bond debts and for the GSBA lease that goes with the Carolyn Harris. I also put you guys in updated fund balance figures through August 2023, because I knew that Mr. Taylor had asked me that question last year, so last month, so I wanted to make sure that he had the most up-to-date figures. So we ended August with $3,118,772.40. That's $650,000 down from last year. If y'all remember, these are our months where we go down, down, down until we hit November, and then December is our big tax month, and then January also is a large tax month. So until we get to that point, we're kind of on a downhill slide, but we are at a point where we think we are doing great. I also put a SPLOS tax comparison at your table. It is red. I don't get to say green is good. So when I can't say green is good, I just added more information at the bottom trying to save our cause. But I wanted y'all to see that our interest rates are going up. So the amount of money we're earning is actually increasing. So I just did an interest earn analysis at the bottom so y'all can kind of see, we were earning $4,000 and now we're earning $14,000. So when I look at our negative amount up top, I kind of net it out with the amount of interest we're earning. If that makes sense to you guys, but that's just a little food for thought. And our last thing that we have to go over is the agenda change. It's DIB financial reports. This policy is already in place. It's at your table. It looks like this. The only thing that we are changing is particularly amounts, and I'll tell you why. This is our capital asset policy. So you think about, this policy's been in place since 2007, and the amounts have not changed. But think about how much it cost to buy a car in 2007, and now think about right now. So I am to the point that almost everything we are purchasing in technology and in CTAE, we're adding to our asset listing. and also in maintenance. Well, in 3 years, they may have that blower and it's tore up and they've got a new one. Well, I don't know that, so I'm hunting the mower while we're trying to do an inventory listing. So we just need the numbers to be a little bit higher so that the things that we're actually booking on our financial statements are large purchases. So what we have proposed is machinery and equipment was at $5,000 or more. We've proposed changing it to $25,000 or more. Building and building improvements was at $10,000. We've proposed moving to $50,000. Land improvements was at $10,000. We've proposed moving it to $50,000. And of course, our land is any amount whatsoever. We have to capitalize that. That's a rule. Does anybody have any questions about that part right there? This is in accordance with what other counties in our RESA group and in our area are doing. So we have reached out to them and compared numbers.
Do that bump again. What are you saying on which ones?
Excuse me?
Which ones you saying going up on? How much?
Equipment, it's right there on your actual
already right here.
policy. The amount it was is in red and marked through, so it was 5,000. We're proposing 25. Buildings was 10,000. We're proposing 50.
When you say buildings, like improvements, like if you're,
Building and building improvements.
anything you do to the building?
Anything you do to the building and also actual, like the metal building that's in the back.
So let's say, use that. So if you want to build that building, if it's under 10,000, I mean, help me understand what you're supposed to do if it's under 10,000. You have to notify the board? Does he have to
If
sign
it's
off on it?
above 10,000, I had to book it on my capital asset listing, and I had to track it for the next 15 to 60 years, depending on what life expectancy we put on that.
So it's just an accounting, but it's nothing for us, or nobody else has to
No.
co-sign or sign off on it?
This is only for our financial statements and my gray hair. But it's nothing that will change how procedures work as far as you guys knowing or approving. Also, I changed under machinery and equipment. It mentioned the 5,000 again, so I had to change it to 25. Then if you'll turn to page 2, we had a new GASB that came out about right-to-use assets. So just to put it in layman's term, right-to-use assets are copiers. So any copier lease that we have that's over 1 year, we have to value that as an asset because we're getting to use it for longer than a year. So we simply put in the green sentences that said that the right to use assets will be amortized over the shorter of the useful life or the lease term. So copiers are equipment, so we're gonna go with 25,000. And then if the lease is 5,000, we'll amortize it for 5 years instead of going for what in the machinery and equipment would normally be 10 to 15.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Anybody have any questions?
Let me go back to what you said
Yep.
earlier on that, but the ESSER money in 2 and 3, and how much more of that, do we have any of that money left over? Or-
Yes, ESSER 2 ended September 30th of this year, and ESSER 3 will end September 30th of the following year. So you have left the policy just for my clarification. Yes, sir?
Yes,
Okay. You back with me now?
I'm good.
Okay.
Everybody else good?
Also, we have got subscription-based information technology arrangements. That's a big word that's things that we buy for the students to use. So it's computer programs. Anytime it's over a year, we will have to figure out how much that's valued at. And we have, if you turn to the next page, we have thresholds at the bottom, and where it says computer software, we value that at $150,000. Let me explain why. We do a lot of our software in bundles for 2 to 3 years because we get a better rate on those. So when we do that, the price will be larger. So Allison Ray and I pulled the invoices and we added them up to make sure we were in line. and it was in excess of 100,000 already, so we just put it at 150. That'll be our limit. Anything over 150, we will monitor it on our asset listing. We'll still follow the procedures for everything else. It just won't be on the capital asset listing. Anybody got any questions? I know that's a lot. Okay. All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss Jackie. Anything else, everybody? Okay. All right, next up, we're going to have the superintendent's report. Dr. Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We got quite a few field trips. The first one being CMS 8th grade, Washington, D.C., November 13th through the 17th. No bus is needed. Everything is in order as far as the application is concerned. That's the 8th graders going to D.C. CHS wrestling overnight to Canton, Georgia, December 1 and 2. CHS wrestling to Dahlonega, December 15th and 16th, and overnight. Wrestling to Sewanee, December 27th through the 30th. Everything is in order. And the CHS thespian troupe going to Columbus, February 1st through the 3rd. It's hard to believe we're already leaving fall, moving into the winter extracurricular activities, but we are. But all these requests have the paperwork, and they are in order, and they meet the requirements. Also, just a reminder that the whole board training that will be at CHS Performing Arts Center on October 26th, 2023 from 5:30 to 8:30, and that's being sponsored by our RISA district, and we're just the host site for that. And I also would like to take just a minute to recognize a couple of exciting opportunities that our students are going to be having starting tomorrow. Our CHS volleyball will be hosting Johnson High School for the playoff tournament. That'll be at 5 o'clock tomorrow. That's Tuesday, CHS volleyball, 5 o'clock in Adel. Just a reminder, season tickets will not be accepted for entry into the first round of the playoffs. Tickets will need to be purchased on gofan.com. On Wednesday, CHS softball super regional tournament here in Adel. Game 1 will be Cook versus Putnam at 1, Toombs versus Northeast at 3, and the loser of Game 1 versus the loser of Game 2 will be at 5. Game 4, winner of Game 1 versus the winner of Game 2. So we're excited to be able to host both the volleyball and the softball. On Thursday, we'll continue with the Super Regional Tournament. Winner of Game 3 versus the loser of Game 4 at 3, and the winner of Game 4 versus the winner of Game 5. That'll be at 5 o'clock. And the ifs game will be Game 7. That is, if the team that comes up through the loser's bracket should happen to beat the undefeated team, then there'll be an if game, which will be Game 7. And that'll be on Thursday at 7 o'clock. So come out and support the Hornet on all 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Then on Friday, football goes to Dodge to play Eastman. And then on Saturday, CMS cheer competition in Statesboro. So as you can see, we're really busy with all our extracurricular activities here in Cook County. Also, I'd like for Brittany and Blake, if y'all would, to please stand. I know you're here because I saw you. And also who is not here is Lisa Hurd. Where is Lisa? As you may have seen in the newspaper, or not in the newspaper, but online, I think Charles has posted it. But this year, Cook County High School, or last year's Cook County High School graduation rate, well, before I tell you what it is, last year it was 97.5, and I thought there would be no way that they're going to beat that. I mean, you get to a point and you're going to start digressing. Well, this is a pre-K through 12th grade event. In other words, everybody, every teacher, every administrator, every para, everybody in the system had a hand in that 97.5 grad rate. But you folks at the high school are on these, and you don't wait till they're seniors. I know. You start on them when they're freshmen. You stay on them as sophomores. You continue to be in their ear as juniors. And then that senior year, where you at? What are you doing? Have you got all your credits? Have you done your online course? You got to make this up. Or I know it takes that. And you would think that a person would be self-motivated, and most of them are. But many times it takes these people in the ears of these students and staying on top of them to make this work. So I just wanted to publicly thank you guys for an awesome job. And by the way, the graduation rate for 2023 was 98.4. It is by far the best in the recent history. I have not looked at all the numbers in the state as far as every high school, but I guarantee you it's going to be in the top 10. So awesome job, gang. Please share, principals, please share that number with your staff and let them know that they're an integral part of this process, and we appreciate their efforts as well. But kudos to you guys. Thank you for staying on top of these folks and making it happen. I bet you can't beat this number next year. Just joking. Mr. Chair, that is all I have.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, I need a motion for us to go into executive session to discuss personnel and real estate.
Make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Sumner.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Can we need a vote, call, show of hands, unanimous. So if y'all excuse us, we're going to be in executive session.
But we can go back and add that.
You didn't have that on the Is there any other further business by board members? Dr. Dixon, you have any further business?
No, sir, Mr. Chair.
All right, we're going to be closing this meeting. All right, we'll call to order the 6:30 meeting. And we've got the invocation by Miss Sarah Bostic.
All right.
Would you like to come forward, please? Yeah, wherever you're comfortable. Floor is yours.
Which side?
You can face them, it's fine.
That's fine.
Okay, I'm going to pray now. I'm a little nervous. All right, let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. I thank you for all the people in this room. I thank you for all the positions and the roles, Lord, that are here, Lord. I thank you for the teachers and the principals and the board members and the parents and the kids, Lord, and just all the souls that are here, Lord. I thank you for what this place means, and I thank you for the business that they do for our community. I just pray that you give them wisdom where they need it, Lord, and protection, Lord. I pray for all the families that are presented here, Lord. I just pray that you would bring peace into their households, Lord, and to their lives and their hearts, God, and just bring them closer to you, Lord. And I just thank you for this day, and I thank you for this opportunity. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Thank you.
Very
Sarah.
good.
All right, Pledge of Allegiance by Dr. Dixon. If everyone would stand, please.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need approval of agenda. Someone make a motion, please. I'm sorry.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda, the amended agenda.
A second.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Now let's call for vote. 3, 4, 5. All right. Unanimous. All right. This time, do we have anyone for public comment?
No, sir, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you. Next up, we got recognitions, and we ask for Miss Jennifer Green, if you'd come forward.
Ms. Brendan, I said thank you.
Good evening.
It's flowers, right, John?
Hey, it has been a wonderful semester so far at Cook Elementary School, and I'm honored to be here tonight to recognize students, teachers, and staff who have been part of that success. It is our mission and vision each day to empower and inspire all of our learners to grow and achieve their greatest potential, and we could not do that without the partnership of our teachers and our families, so we thank you. This year, our theme at Cook Elementary School is hammering our way to success. When deciding on our theme this year, we reflected on last year's progress, our successes, and our areas of growth. We've made incredible growth and are so very proud of all of our successes, but we felt that last year a lot of our focus was on identifying the areas that we wanted to improve. So to help us see things better, we use a flashlight as a tool. That helps us identify what we need to target, but decided that we wanted to trade in our flashlights. We had used those to tell us what we needed to do, but we know that just identifying our areas of need doesn't make a big difference. What we wanted to do was to take action and to make sure that change was taking place. So we've traded in our flashlights for hammers that we can use to make meaningful and measurable changes, and each member of our team is a part of that responsibility and has taken part in that challenge. At this time, I would like to take a moment to recognize all of the teachers and staff that we have present here this evening. If you are part of the Cook Elementary School team, please stand up for a moment. We're going to look at a few data points in just a moment, and we wanted you to know who is responsible for supporting your students and encouraging them to grow. Thank you for all that you do each and every day. There are 2 data points that I want to share with you this evening. One more. And we're ready, the next one. The first is Beacon. It is a tool provided by the Georgia Department of Education that we use to progress monitor our students throughout the year. We do that in both language arts and in math. This assessment aligns with the Georgia Milestones Assessment and provides us with wonderful insight into our students' projected performance on the milestones at the end of the year. Students are assessed on grade level skills. So when we're looking at these data points, it is important for us to remember that the students that took these assessments were being assessed on the expectations of their grade level knowledge at the end of the year. That assessment was given to them in August. So when we look at our August ELA data points, we see some significant and very exciting changes. On the slides that you'll see, on the top of the slide, you'll see our scores in each area for each grade in August of 2022. And then on the bottom, you'll see the scores that we achieved in August of 2023. So in third grade, we can see a very clear shift where 39% more students were near target at the beginning of the year than they were at the beginning of the year last year. That speaks volumes to the growth and the hard work that our students and teachers are putting in each and every day. So this is a very clear shift. That trend continues in fourth grade, with 18% more students near target or prepared, which we're super excited about. And it continues in fifth grade with 13% more students near target or prepared. So we're very excited about the direction that we're going in our language arts classrooms and can't wait to see how we're going to continue to perform. Because remember, this is the grade level assessment that they're given before they've learned the skills. So we can't wait to see where we're going to go as our data. We continue to collect our data throughout the year. In math, in third grade, we have 36% less students who need intensive support on the August assessments than we did last year. So that trend continues in math as well. And we also have to say thank you to our partners at Cook Primary School, because we know that them coming to us as third graders, there was a lot of foundations that were provided to them in kindergarten through second grade. So we are thankful for their partnership in seeing those numbers as well. So we have 36% less students who need intensive support on the August assessments and 19% less who need that intensive support in fourth grade. In fifth grade, we still see positive shifts in performance, but in fifth grade, we recognize that there is a clear shift in the standards and the complexity that students face in fifth grade math. So again, these are new skills and concepts that they've not yet been introduced to, so we cannot wait to collect our mid-year data to see the shifts as those new concepts have now been taught, and we've had an opportunity to introduce and practice them with our students. So our second data point is Acadience. It's another tool that we use to progress monitor our students. It targets specific skills in the areas of reading. In grades 3 through 5, these assessments target oral reading fluency and reading comprehension. If you look at the overall scores for each grade level, we see a significant decrease in the amount of read, which indicates positive growth. Again, this is a comparison of where we were in August of 2022 to August of 2023. In third grade, we show a growth of students at or above grade level from 43% to 58% in terms of beginning of the year expectations. In fourth grade, we see decreases in red with an increase of 36% of students who are at or above grade level. And then in fifth grade, that trend continues with decreases in red and an increase from 22% at or above grade level to 41% at or above grade level. And again, I stress we're so excited about this because this is the beginning of the year data. We now have 9 weeks of work that we've put in, practice that we've done. We're going to continue to do that, so we can't wait to see the direction that we're going to go. We are very encouraged by the progress and growth that we are seeing at the beginning of the year and can't wait to see how far our students climb between now and then. So at this time, we want to take a moment to recognize and honor some special students who are here with us tonight who stand out above the crowd. Students, as we call your name, you're going to come over to the right side of the podium, and you're going to receive your certificate and award. When you come over, each of you tonight are going to receive a certificate. You're going to receive a bag of goodies, because it's October. We have to have candy, right? You're going to receive a bag of goodies, and then you're also going to receive a certificate from one of our community partners, the Coneheads and Adel, has donated some certificates so you can go have a free snow cone. So you're going to get one of those as well. All right, so the first group that we're going to recognize tonight is going to target, or we're going to look at our highest lexiles in each of our grade levels. Reading fluency and reading comprehension are areas we work on to improve daily. In grades 3 through 5, we are implementing cooking up reader strategies, and we also utilize both Reading Eggs and Reading Express. It's our focus to integrate reading strategies in all of our content areas. So a Georgia Milestones measure of a student's reading level is provided through their Lexile score, and we monitor that Lexile growth throughout the school year. Tonight, we're going to recognize the 2 highest Lexiles per grade level at this point in the year. So for 3rd grade, our highest Lexile is held by Mr. Jack Allgood, who is in Ms. Coward and Ms. Turner's classroom.
Got some fruit.
Our second highest Lexile in the 3rd grade, also in Ms. Turner and Ms. Cower's class, is held by Mr. Tucker Kravick. In 4th grade, our highest Lexile out of Miss May and Miss Spire's classroom is held by Miss Amelia Mathis. Then also in 4th grade, our second highest Lexile, also in Miss May and Miss Sarah's class, is held by Miss Isabella Weaver. In 5th grade, our highest Lexile is held by Jaden Pope in Miss Connell, Miss Pearson, and Miss Wiggins' classroom.
While we take the time, some of them are reaching where they're at, we feel like it's our responsibility, because they're gonna be getting a lot of awards in the future. Let's go ahead and teach them how to receive that award.
Absolutely. And in 5th grade, our second highest Lexile out of Miss Clements, Miss Adams, and Miss Mathis' classroom is Miss Bailey Warren. All right, let's give them all one more hand.
That's where they go.
Good job.
All right, math fluency is also a skill we target daily and is something that we believe can make an incredible difference in student success in the application of math skills. Our Reflex program provides students with a daily opportunity to practice their fast facts and improve their fluency. Students can earn 1 green light per day when a specific number of facts are answered correctly, and since the program is adaptive, this number varies per student but can typically be achieved in about 15 minutes of practice per day. The students we are recognizing tonight as our Reflex leaders in each grade level represent a range of ability and achievement levels. Whether they're working on addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or fractions, these students stand out for their persistence, their diligence, and their achievement. So in the 3rd grade, out of Miss Barrett and Miss Lindsay's classrooms with 206 facts gained so far this year in just one quarter. We have Ryder Allen. All right, we also, in Ms. Cowart and Ms. Turner's classroom, with 182 facts gained and fluent with 210 facts, we have Mr. Jack Allgood. In Ms. Bruner's class, with 139 facts gained, we have Jonah Varnum. All right, and also in Ms. Bruner's class, with 144 facts gained, we have Mr. Anthony Futch. All right, in the fourth grade, with 257 facts gained and 97.8% fluency, in Miss Harry, Miss Kelly, Mr. Schramm, and Miss Solorzano's classroom, we have Malia Freelove. Also in fourth grade, with 249 facts gained and 87% fluency, in Miss Harry, Miss Kelly, Mr. Schramm, and Miss Solorzano's classroom, we have Mr. Ashton Williams. All right, in the fifth grade, with 325 facts gained and 100% fluency with those 325 facts, from Miss Mathis, Miss Adams, and Miss Clement's classroom, we have Miss Zara Carter. And also in fifth grade, with 312 facts gained and being 96% fluent with those 312 facts, from Ms. Roteman, Ms. Dixon, and Ms. Howell's class, we have Ms. Josie Betts. So these students are the leaders in their grade levels with the most facts that they have mastered. So we're very proud of their hard work. Let's give them one more hand. All right, in keeping with our school theme, it has been our battle cry all year that it is time to get to work, and our students have met this challenge positively. Our Golden Hammer Award recipients stand out as leaders of this charge consistently within their classrooms and their actions, and we are honored to recognize them here tonight. So in third grade, from Miss Barrett and Miss Lindsay's classroom, we have Miss Mia Battle. Also in third grade, from Miss Van Houten, Miss Donaldson, and Miss Smith's classrooms, we have Cheyenne Sutton. right, in fourth grade, in Miss Mathis and Miss Brady's classroom, we have Kalia Scruggs. In fourth grade, also out of Miss Harry, Miss Kelly, Mr. Shram, Miss Solarizano's classroom, we have Malia Freelove. In fifth grade, from Miss Tabor, Miss Jackson, Mr. George, Miss Folsom, and Miss Beggy's team, we have Miss Taylor Pounds. And also in fifth grade, from Miss Wiggins, Miss Connell, and Miss Pearson's team, Miss Sophie Staten. All right, thank you, boys and girls.
Sorry, Joe.
Or girls, ladies. While much of our focus at CES is on academics, we also believe in the importance of supporting the development of the whole child. We believe our specials classes provide an opportunity for the exploration and specialization of skills. And tonight, we're going to recognize a student from each of our special areas who stands out as exceptional in each of these areas with a special talent for that particular skill. So we're very excited to honor these students. In art, Ms. Kelly Sumner has nominated Adrian McKenzie for this recognition. In music, Ms. Carnine has nominated Camden Spires for this honor. In technology, Ms. Surency has nominated Isabel Baldry. In STEM, Ms. Broom has nominated Lathron Beckton. All right, and in physical education, we had two nominees tonight by Ms. Griffin and Ms. Pickle. We want to recognize Haleyana Holland.
Sorry.
And Jordan Williams. All right, thank you, boys and girls. Our next award is our Golden Daylily Award. We have been incredibly fortunate to add paraprofessional positions within the building over the past year, and we firmly believe their commitment to our students is one of the factors that contributes to the difference that we're seeing in our student progress. The role of a paraprofessional is complex and multifaceted. Overall, a para provides support to both students and teachers in order to help ensure the overall learning experience is maximized for everyone. We are fortunate to have some very incredibly dynamic teams within our building, and one of those can be found in one of our third grade classrooms. Ms. LaQuana Thornton came to us in January of 2023, and in the time that she has been with us, I am not sure that I have ever seen her without a smile on her face. She is a true team player and steps up to any challenge asked of her with a positive attitude and determination to see it through successfully. She is frequently engaged with students and leads small groups as if she has done so for years. And we are delighted to share that she has chosen to continue her own education and plans to one day lead her own classroom. We have no doubt that she will achieve her goal and cannot wait to see what wonderful things she will continue to contribute to Cook Elementary School. So our Golden Daylily recipient this evening is Ms. LaQuana Thornton. And our final award this evening is our Golden Bus Driver Award. Our selection for the Golden Bus Driver this time represents all the characteristics of our Golden Hammer expectations. Mr. Cheatham shows compassion for his students and radiates positive energy. Every day when he leaves our campus, he blows the horn and waves, and it brings a smile to our face. This may seem like such a small thing, but at the end of the day, it's a reminder to us that it's the small things that make the biggest differences. He is an absolute professional, and it is obvious that driving the bus is not just his job, it is his calling, and we are honored to recognize Mr. Chris Cheatham as our selection for the Golden Bus Driver Award.
All right, guys, that concludes the work section part of our meeting, award session. We're fixing to go into the work business part of it. You're welcome to stay, but if you want to be dismissed, now would be the time. Take a couple minutes and get out of here. Did I miss it? Okay.
Just remember to